Let me tell you about a doctor that I had as a client about 18 months ago. And this guy finally got it, and here's what I'm talking about. He had a good plastic surgery business. He did all types of liposuction, breast augmentation, nose jobs, facelifts, the whole 9 yards. Good business, but he wanted more business. Because quite honestly, this guy was making a couple $100,000 a month, and the expenses of running that type of business, believe it or not, he was not breaking even, but he wasn't making the net income that you would think he'd be making. So he hired me as his marketing coach. And the first question I have is, for him to answer, was, what do you make the most out of? What type of surgery, what type of procedure, what do you make the most out of? And he said, breast augmentation. And I said, well, what do you get the most calls off of? He said, well, breast augmentation. And then I said, well, obviously, what does your marketing look like? And then I looked at the guy's marketing, and he was positioning himself as a plastic surgeon, which obviously makes sense because he can do everything. And I said, look, from a marketing standpoint, I don't need to know if you do everything. I already know you do everything. What is it that we can capitalize on and get the most leads? So long story short, we changed all of his marketing, postcards, TV, radio, website, online, offline, everything. We changed it to this breast augmentation approach. He generated a lot more leads, got a lot more conversion. His cost per client went way down in terms of the marketing cost. Remember our 7% marketing rule. Everything improved because he picked the number one thing, the number one lead source, the number one aspect that people were calling off of. So let me ask you in your own business, what is the number one most popular thing that you have to offer in your product or service? What would generate more calls than anything else that you do? Now here's a side note. When somebody calls him off of his postcards, letters, and websites, offline, online, do you think they all want breast augmentation? No, the answer is obviously not. Some of them want facelifts, some of them want liposuction, some of them want 15 other different things, but guess what they called off of? The breast augmentation ad. So think about your number one source of leads and then base all of your marketing around that.